Hi students, this is the first lesson in vectors. Since it is the first lesson, let me tell you what is my plan of teaching. All the concepts, theorems, properties, derivations, etc. Those will be done under the lesson ML, that is main lesson, and it is 1, 2, 3, etc. in sequential order. So I will be completing the entire chapter with this main lesson, and the relevant simple examples will be discussed here. Then the questions, problems given in the exercise will be separately discussed under the supplementary lesson, that is also 1, 2, 3, etc. So what I suggest is, in order to understand the entire chapter, first you should go with main lesson, watch all the lessons and try to understand all the concepts. Then once it is completed, then you can take a supplementary lesson where problems will be discussed. So if you have understood everything in the main lesson, probably it is possible for you to solve all the problems yourself without the help of supplementary. But my suggestion is, first you watch all the videos of main lesson, then you take the supplementary lesson. I will be uploading the lessons in the same order, and I am putting all these things in the playlist. Therefore, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe my channel so that you will be able to get all the lessons in a particular place, and you can also follow the order. So this is the brief instruction about the lesson. Let us start the concept vector. See, if you have studied this in physics actually, I think in the first PUC only, and vector is one of the important concepts which you are using in physics. For example, when you want to study force and other things, you need to have the idea of vectors. But here, what we do is, we are taking the mathematical concept of vector. Of course, say force is an example of vector, but here we have to understand what is the definition of vector mathematically. So you have to understand the vector like this. You take a line L in three-dimensional space, that is in space. So here, of course, I have written on the plane. Imagine that, for example, this is the line. So like this. Now, if you take one point here, let us say A, another point here B, then you can say that you start from A and then you are going to B. That means from A to B. So this is actually sense of the, then the distance from A to B, this is magnitude. This is magnitude. First one is A to B, so you can put an arrow mark. So sense, or this is also called direction. Then second one is length, that is AB. Now if you combine these two concepts, that is, one is direction of this line segment AB, another one is the magnitude. So then this AB can be called as directed line segment. And this directed line segment is called vector. Therefore, I can say mathematically the concept of vector like this. In space, you take a line and then you mark any 2 points A and B, specify which is the starting point, which is the end point. Then you know what is the distance. Then sense means actually from A to B. So you have to put an arrow mark indicating which is the initial point, which is the terminal point. So this is vector according to us. So I can define the vector like this mathematically. Vector is a directed line segment, and this line is called support of the vector. Support. So this is the mathematical idea of a vector. Now you can define the vector like this. See, a physical quantity, if you want to define, then you have to define like this. Definition is, it is a physical quantity. Physical quantity of what? Quantity having two aspects. One is magnitude or length, and the second one is direction. So A physical quantity having magnitude and direction is called vector. Now, you should follow certain conventions. For example, you see, suppose this is the initial point, this is the terminal point, then join this one. So, this is the vector. This is the vector. And normally we represent this by either AB then arrow mark, or we can also use a small letter A. For example, here, this is the vector. So, AB indicates A is the initial point, B is the terminal point. So, that is the idea. And magnitude is denoted by, these are the conventions or symbols we use. Magnitude of the vector is AB, or here it is like this. So, this is the representation of vector in a symbolic way. Then, there are some important aspects you have to remember. For example, for any given vector A, magnitude is always more than or equal to 0. It cannot be negative. Of course, length cannot be negative. Therefore, magnitude of a vector is more than or equal to 0. So, these are the basics of vectors. Basics of vectors. Now, let us try to understand the different types of vectors. So, first one is, so let me write types of vectors. First one is zero vector. Zero vector. So, zero vector means a vector whose magnitude is 0 is called zero vector. That is, magnitude of a vector A, this will be 0. And zero vector is denoted by 0 then an arrow mark. And you can represent this zero vector by different methods. For example, you see, magnitude is 0, therefore definitely if A is 0, then this is zero vector. Or you can also write A vector, because in the vector representation, if I write AB vector, A is the initial point, B is the terminal point. Suppose I write AA, that means initial point is same as terminal point, therefore AA is zero vector. You can also define the zero vector like this, a vector in which initial point and terminal point coincide, that is zero vector, and its magnitude is 0. So, that is the idea of zero vector. Then the second one is unit vector. So, second concept is unit vector. So, this also, the name itself suggests a vector whose unit is 1, that is called unit vector. Or unit means it can be anything. For example, if you are measuring in terms of centimeter, it is centimeter. If you are measuring in terms of meter, it is meter. So, unity. So, the magnitude of vector, when the magnitude of a vector A, if this is 1, then this vector is a unit vector, and normally unit vector is denoted by like this, a cap. So, this means its magnitude is 1. Now, given any vector, for example, suppose you take any vector A, then we can find a unit vector along the direction of A like this. So, what you have to do is A, divide this by magnitude A, then this magnitude of this vector, actually this itself is A. How to understand this one using diagram? Imagine this is the given vector A, whose magnitude is A actually. Then if you want to find a unit vector along this direction, of course direction of this vector, let us say this one, then suppose you are using a say measurement centimeter, then if you mark a point here such that this length is 1 unit, whatever unit you use, then this vector is unit vector. This vector is the unit vector in the direction of the given vector A. In the direction of the given vector A. And for any vector A, this always will be unit vector, because if you take the magnitude of this A divided by magnitude A, what do you get is magnitude A divided by magnitude A. This is 1. So, magnitude of this vector is 1. Therefore, that is unit vector. So, this you can remember as a result formula. For any non-zero vector A by magnitude A is unit vector in the direction of that given vector. So, this is the idea. So, the second one is unit vector. The third one is co-initial vector. So this is the next type, co-initial vector. So let me first give the idea with the help of a diagram. Suppose this is one vector. Say this point is say A and this point is B. Suppose you take one more vector like this. This is C. This is another vector. Suppose there is another vector like this, say A, B, C, D. This is the vector. Of course, magnitude can be different, but different vectors. Then these vectors are called co-initial vector, meaning the initial point of all the three vectors are same, identical or coincides. So they are called co-initial vector. So you can define like this: two or more vectors having the same initial point are called co-initial vector. So this is the next concept. See, all these basic types of vectors you have to understand so that it becomes easy further. Same way we can also define, say we can list co-terminal vector. Co-terminal vector. This is not mentioned in the textbook, but we can write like this. You see, this is one vector, this is another vector, this is another vector. Say this is A, this is P, this is B, this is C. Suppose these are the vectors like this. Say for example, this is A. I can represent either AP or A. Here it is B, let us say. Here it is C. All these vectors are having the same terminal point. So co-terminal point. This one. See, for example, in physics we are using, there is a point here on which there are three forces which are applied. So this is all the three forces are co-terminal forces. So that is the idea. Then collinear vector. So this, of course, you should be very careful in understanding this one. Let me explain a little bit more. So collinear vector. Collinear. So this is the next concept. See, in case of geometry, you have seen this one. Suppose there are 3 points. If they lie on the same line, they are called collinear points. But there is a difference between collinear vector and collinear point. So you should not have confusion. Let me explain what is this collinear vector. Say, you take a vector, for example, this is AB. Let us say this is a vector. So this is one thing. Let us say another vector here. This is say CD, like this. Let us say another vector here. This is say ABCD. Let me call EF. And like this. See, these two are having in this direction, this vector in the direction. All these three vectors are called collinear vectors provided all these vectors are parallel to one common line, and it can be here or it can be anywhere. So the collinear vector actually means two or more vectors which are parallel to a given line irrespective of their magnitude and direction. So note here, A, B, C, D, E, F are not collinear points. They are not collinear points, but the vectors A, B, C, D and E, F are collinear vectors because all the three are parallel to this given line, and I have taken this line as a reference line actually. Instead of this, any other line parallel to this also okay, because instead of this line, if you take another line, all these three will be parallel to that line also. So therefore this line is just a reference line. So this is the idea of collinear vector. Then you should not confuse with collinear point. Then the next one is equal vectors. Equal vectors. So let me write here. Say take for example one vector here AB in this line, plane. Say another vector here CD, like this. So these two, more also you can take, but I am taking minimum 2. These two vectors are called equal provided they are parallel to the same line or they are parallel. That is number 1. Magnitude should be same. Second one, direction should be same. That means magnitude, direction should be same, and they must be parallel to one common line. So that is called equal vectors. That means this is a very important concept in vectors. Equal vectors, of course, there are two varieties, local vector and free vector. Let me explain later. This concept of equal vector is very important. For example, I can shift this vector anywhere. What I have to do is, whenever I am shifting this vector, two things I have to remember. Its magnitude should not change, same magnitude. Its direction also should not change. For example, these two are parallel equal vectors. I can shift here also. I can shift here also anywhere, or I can shift here also anywhere. So that is the idea of equal vectors. Then the next one is negative of a vector. So next, negative of a vector, important. So this is the next concept, negative of a vector. Say for example, you take a vector. The moment I say vector, I can say AB. This is one method, or I can also represent by A. Both are one and the same. They are say interchangeable. Now, negative of this vector means it is the vector parallel to this one only, but the direction is opposite. Magnitude also same, negative of this vector. So that is denoted by minus A. For example, I can take here. So this is exactly what I have to do is, this is the initial point. B is here. I have to take, say, C here. This becomes negative of this one, provided they are on the same line. That is one thing. Magnitude of this must be magnitude of this. That is another one. Even you can say, suppose you just interchange this one, say arrow mark this side, BA becomes the negative of AB. So anything, because these two are also equal by definition. Therefore you can say minus A. Suppose AB vector equal to A, then what is minus A vector? This will be equal to BA vector. That means initial point and terminal point, they interchange. Then it becomes negative. So that is the idea of negative vector. Then the next one, very important, because this concept we are using in proving and other things. Therefore, very important concept. Position of a vector. Sorry, position vector. Position vector. So this is another very important concept. What is the meaning of position vector? See, of course, I have to show you on the plane, but imagine that it is a point in a space. Say this is a point, let us say P. Only one point is given to me. With one point, I cannot define the vector because it becomes a zero vector and I can't specify the direction also. So, I want to have a vector taking this as the terminal point. Therefore, what I can do is, since I need one more point, I will select this O as the origin. That this is my selection. I have taken it. Then if you join this one, if you join this vector is called position vector of the point P. I am repeating again. This vector OP is called the position vector of the point P. Suppose this is A vector. You can write here A. So here afterwards you have to understand this one. Given any point in space, you can always define a position vector of that point. But what you have to do is, origin you have to select. Whatever point you select, that is called the origin. And from that you have to write. So OP is called the position vector of the point P. So this is position vector of point P. So this is a very important concept and it is required often and often in proving also. Therefore this concept you have to understand and remember. So position vector. Then I told you one important say classification. Given any vector, there are two possibilities. So this also you should understand. One is free vector. Another one is localized vector. Localized, or this is also called fixed vector. Free vector means, see, whenever you want to calculate something, later of course we are defining addition, then scalar multiplication, then difference, etc. of vectors. Whenever you have to perform such operations, sometimes what is required is you have to shift a vector. Say for example, here is a vector, this is A. Suppose there is another vector here, this is B. I want to add, I want to perform something. Suppose I am able to shift this vector here, that is called free vector. free vectors. So that means free vectors can be shifted from one place to another place. So that is the idea. Now fixed vector cannot be shifted. So that is the normally we deal with free vectors in calculation and other things. So these are the basics of vectors. Basics of vectors. Now let me just work out a few simple examples to clarify this idea. I have taken 3 examples from the textbook only, illustrations actually. First one is this. First question is this. See, represent graphically a displacement of 40 kilometer, that is 30 degree. See, this is how questions are given. 30 degree west from south. So this is the first question. So how to represent this vector 40 kilometers? So what you have to do is, see, this is the convention in whenever we are using direction. We know that this is the x-axis and y-axis, and we normally call x dash, y dash. But here, since direction is required, this you should take east, and this west, and upper. This is always north. This is south. So this is the direction. Now, 30 degree west from south means this is west from south. West, this is west from south means this side. So what you have to do is, you have to draw a line like this. So this angle is 30 degree. So this is 30 degree. Now what you have to do is to represent the displacement 40 kilometer. Therefore you have to use a unit. Say for example 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit. So 1 unit equal to, suppose you say it is 10 kilometer, then this will be, let us call this is O, this point is P. So this is 40 kilometer, and if you want to show the direction, this is the displacement vector. So this is the method of representation. Similarly, west from south, or it can be any other, north from east, anything given. According to that, you can draw the diagram and find it. So this is the first question. Now let me take one more question. Question is this: classify. Of course, this is a very simple concept. Classify the following measures as scalar. I will keep on writing. The first one is 5 seconds. 5 seconds. This is the first one. Second one is 100 centimeter cube or 1000 centimeter cube. Anything you can write. Third one is 10 Newton. 10 Newton. And the fourth one is 30 kilometer per hour. Then fifth one is 10 gram per centimeter cube. And sixth one is 20 meter per second towards north. See here, strictly speaking, it has nothing to do with mathematics. These are all the concepts you have studied in physics actually. Second is a time, 5 seconds. Time has no direction, therefore definitely it is a scalar quantity. So 100 centimeter cube, it is a volume. Once again, volume is a scalar quantity. Definitely it is scalar. This is also scalar. What about 10 Newton? Force is a vector, therefore definitely it is vector quantity. 30 kilometer per hour. Of course, here it is not velocity, actually it is a speed, but direction is not mentioned because it can be in any direction. Therefore, direction is not mentioned, only quantity is mentioned, therefore it is scalar. Gram per centimeter cube, I think it is density. Density is once again, it is a scalar quantity. But look here, see the difference between these two. This is scalar quantity, whereas here towards north means definitely it is vector quantity. So this is the idea. That is how to classify vectors and scalars. And the last question which I would like to discuss is, see, there is a very simple diagram like this. Let us say this is one vector and this is another vector, perpendicular. So approximately perpendicular. Then the next vector is like this. Now units are mentioned so that there will not be any confusion. This is similarly here, these two units. Imagine that these two are equal, these two are also equal. So this is the thing. Then here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and here 1, 2. So like that. Of course, my diagram of there is a small mistake actually. It should be exactly parallel like this. So now what is named is this vector is A and direction is also mentioned. This is the vector A and this vector is C and this vector is B and this vector is D. This vector is D. Now the question is how many of them are collinear vectors? Collinear vectors. And I made it very clear the definition. Collinear vectors means the vectors which are parallel to a given line irrespective of their magnitude and direction, they are called collinear. Definitely collinear vectors are A is parallel to C, A is also parallel to D and C, D are on the same line. Definitely it is A vector, then C vector and D vector. So these are the collinear vectors. Then equal vectors. Second one is equal vectors. So this is just to test whether you have understood the concept or not. Equal vectors. So you can see the diagram here. How many are equal vectors? See, unit also should be same, direction should be same, that is magnitude should be same, direction should be same. These two are definitely equal vectors because if you see here magnitude 2 here, direction same, so it is equal. The next one is co-initial vector. Co-initial vectors. So co-initial means what? Vectors having the same starting point, initial point. So this vector, this is initial point for B, it is initial point for D, initial point for C also. Definitely B, C and D, they are the co-initial vectors. So with this, let me conclude. Once again, if you like this video, please subscribe and share with your friends. Let us meet in the next lesson with operation on vectors. Actually, our topic heading itself is vector algebra, but I have written here vectors actually. So we are studying say addition, then difference, then scalar multiplication, etc. Then different types of products. Definitely you will enjoy this one. Once you understand the basic concepts, the remaining things will be very simple. Let us meet in the next class. Till then, bye. Take care.